Hi. Today's book should be really interesting. I got the author's name from reading one of the other books I've read a chapter to you. It's called Those Who Walk Away by Patricia Highsmith. And the quote on the front is, "One of the most interesting writers of this dismal century." And since she died in the last one, I thought it might be safe to read it in this one. Sorry. My goodness, there are a lot of beginning pages. Coleman was saying, she had no brothers or sisters. Makes things a little easier, I suppose. Ray walked with his bare head hanging, hands deep in the pockets of his overcoat. He shivered. The night air of Rome was sharp with the coming winter. It didn't make things easier, Ray thought, that Peggy had had no brothers or sisters. It certainly didn't make things easier for Coleman. It was dark in the street where they walked. Ray lifted his head to see a street sign and found none. "You know where we're going?" he asked Coleman. "There'll be taxis down here," Coleman said, nodding ahead. The pavement slanted downward. The sound of their footfalls grew higher pitched as their shoes slid a little. Scrape, scrape, scrapety scrape. Ray took hardly more than one step to Coleman's two. Coleman was short and had a quick, choppy gait that was at the same time rolling. Now and again a whiff of Coleman's cigar, which Coleman held between his front teeth, blew past Ray's nostrils, bitter and black. The restaurant Coleman had wanted to go to had not been worth crossing Rome for, Ray thought. He had met Coleman by appointment at 8 o'clock in the Cafe Greco. Coleman had said he was to meet a man. What was the name? In the restaurant, but the man had not arrived. Coleman had not mentioned him once they got there, and Ray wondered now if the man existed. Coleman was odd. Perhaps Coleman had dined or lunched at the restaurant a few times with Peggy, and he liked the place for his memories. Coleman had spoken mainly of Peggy in the restaurant, not as resentfully as he had in Majorca, even chuckling a little tonight. But the grimness, the question was still in Coleman's eyes, and Ray had got nowhere trying to talk to him. The evening for Ray was simply another evening washing over him. The evening had the atmosphere of others in Majorca in the 10 days since Peggy had died, colorless, muffled, somehow, from the rest of the world. Evenings of food eaten or half-eaten simply because it had arrived on the table. "You're going on to New York," said Coleman. "Paris first. Any business here?" "Well, yes, but nothing I can't do in 2 days." Ray was going to see some painters in Rome to see if they were interested in being represented by his gallery in New York. The gallery did not exist as yet. He had made no telephone calls today, although he had been in Rome since noon. He sighed and knew that he had no heart for meeting painters, for convincing them that the Garrett gallery was going to be a success. Via la Polo, Ray read the street sign. A larger avenue lay ahead. Ray thought it should be the Nomentana. Ray was vaguely aware of Coleman tugging in his pocket for something. Then Coleman faced him suddenly, and a shot exploded between them, rocking Ray back against a hedge, making his ears ring so that for a few seconds he could not hear Coleman's running feet on the pavement. Coleman was out of sight, and Ray did not know if a bullet had knocked him backward or if he had fallen back with surprise. "Che cosa?" yelled a man's voice from a window. Ray gasped for air, realized he had been holding his breath, then struggled forward, off the hedge, onto his feet. "Niente," he called back automatically. When he breathed deeply, nothing hurt. He decided he was not hit. He began to walk in the direction Coleman had taken, the direction in which they had been walking. "That's the man! What happened?" The voices faded as Ray entered the Nomentano. He was lucky. A taxi approached immediately from the left. Ray hailed it. "Albergo Mediterraneo," he said, and sank back in the seat. He felt a sting, a burning sensation in his left upper arm. He lifted the arm. It certainly hadn't gone through the bone. He touched the sleeve of his coat, and a finger caught in the hole in it. Further exploration and he found the exit hole on the other side of the sleeve. And now there was a warm wetness in the hollow of his arm where the blood ran. At the Mediterraneo, a modern hotel whose style did not appeal to Ray, but his favorite hotels had been full today, he claimed his key and rode up with a bellhop, left hand in his coat pocket so no blood would drip on the carpet. The closing of his own room door brought a sense of safety, though Ray found himself glancing in the corners after he turned the light on, as if he expected to see Coleman in one of them. He went into the bathroom, removed his overcoat, and tossed it into the bedroom on the bed, then removed his jacket, revealing a splotched streak of blood down his blue and white striped shirt sleeve. Off came the shirt. The wound was a tiny scallop, hardly half an inch long, a classic graze. He wet a clean face towel and washed it. Ray got a Band-Aid from a suitcase pocket, remembering that this broad Band-Aid had been the only one left in the tin box when he had been clearing out the medicine cabinet in Mallorca. Then, using his teeth, he tied a handkerchief around his arm. He soaked the shirt in a basin of cold water. 5 minutes later, in pajamas, Ray ordered a double Dewar's from the bar. He tipped the small boy well. Then he turned his light out and went to the window with his drink. He was on a rather high floor. Rome looked wide and low, except for the distant, sturdy dome of St. Peter's. Oh, God, 3 more pages. Just